Hey everybody, welcome to an edition of Humor Mill TV. We've got a special guest today. We've got somebody who is a comedy rock star, comedy all-star. You guys have seen him in a lot of things. Man needs no further introduction, but none other than Mr. Katt Williams. Katt, how you doing today, brother? How's everything?
Doing fine, thank you.
First of all, Katt has been in film. You're in a new film called The House Next Door, Meet the Blacks 2. It's in theaters June 11th. Katt, I got to ask you, man, you play the neighbor from hell. What scene in it, in the film, that was funny, but you felt did not make the film? Can you talk about that?
None that I can recall.
Okay, all right.
My character was a straight man, so that's what I liked about the script is it didn't rely on the jokes from this one character. The comedy load was carried by Mike Epps and Michael Blackson and Lil Duval, as well as Gary Owens and Risha Webb and Zulai. So it wasn't one guy coming in monopolizing all the laughs. So it was a great part for me specifically.
Right. Are these type of films fun for you to do? These type of things with parodies and things like that? You enjoying?
I had not done a role like this or a movie like this before, and so that's what I enjoyed. I had already said no to 65 pimp roles in between Friday After Next and this, and I couldn't imagine one coming that would be nuanced enough that I would want to jump back in it, but that's what this delivered, and so it was good for that, and the fact that I could be comfortable with the director and the production, the fact that this really was a group of talented individuals independently putting a movie out in the big framework of Hollywood, and the fact that it was well written. So
Right.
those were most of what mattered.
Right. Let's move off a little bit off script on that because I hear you got to, you know me, this is Humor Mill. We always ask a couple of questions about stuff projects you got coming on. I hear you got something big coming up with Netflix and everything else. Can you talk a little bit about it? I know it's super secretive. Can you talk a little bit about some, this future big deal that you have going on with Netflix?
Yeah, it's not really new. It was a 3-project deal from the onset, and I did one and have one in the can and one upcoming.
Oh, okay.
Just the ability to be able to work in my genre and put stuff out. Netflix has been a good partner. They were good enough to add in my previous specials into their marketplace as well. And so it's just continuing that relationship that we already had.
That's excellent. Excellent. I know everybody's probably asked you this question before about the pandemic and everything else. When you all locked down and everything else about this pandemic, and did you fine tune anything? Did you take a look at some of your comedies? Anything? Did you, what did you come out with out of the pandemic with this?
Well, for people that had to learn to work from home, I suppose it was a different scenario, but it didn't really change our work process as get as much writing done, and you were able to fine tune things. And I don't think there was anything in my stand-up that didn't need adjustment and didn't need work. And the pandemic gave enough time for us writers and creators to real hone a lot of things that just because of scheduling we might not have been able to before. So I think that for writers and creatives it was a really productive time.
Right. Are we ever going to see you behind the camera directing and things like that? Because you have a creative eye. You know what you like. You're a special individual. You see things the way they should be, and you put your foot down sometimes to do that and everything else. Could we see you directing, like either a comedy special or a comedy film or anything of that sort?
Yes, a part of this new direction is behind the scenes, but I I prefer great directors than I prefer to be a director. So as an artist, who's directing the project is of great importance to me because I know how valuable a great director can be, and I know how detrimental Craig Brewer can be to a project. Like the director doesn't get always the credit, but he is the make and break of most films, and so I've not decided that that director needs to be me because there are so many directors that are great that I still would like to work with, and directors of color especially have a special insight to these projects, and that's what I'm most excited about is them being able to establish how they direct and what their
Mhm.
brand of direction is and how that looks. And so I'm still a big fan of the young African American director that we are getting
Mhm.
chances to see, and
Right.
as well as Regina King.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I like a couple more questions. I know you have a pet project, something you really would love to do, and everything else like that. Is it something that we're going to see in the next year or two, or something like that? Is it still upcoming? I don't even really know what it is. I just heard through the grapevine that you're trying to get one of your most favorite projects out. Is that part of the Netflix deal, or is it something separate outside of that? That's like something that I intend to do this. I'm gonna circle this. This is what my favorite project's going to be, and I'm going to do that. Is that what it is, or can you talk about that?
Um, no, it's not that. It's how it gets delivered. So in most of these cases, if you're the person that's actually writing the piece and you're also in the piece and you're also casting the piece, then if money is not what the issue is, the issue becomes how do you distribute it effectively and where is the home of that place. And each of these locations, streaming or otherwise, represent something different to the artist. This one has less money and more creativity. This one has, and so that's really what factors in the most is who you're deciding to get in the bed with as far as putting the projects out. But I can't actually say their name yet, but we do have a suitable place.
Yeah. Last question I want to ask you. You're and totally off topic, but one of your friends is running for mayor of Washington D.C. Ray Grant is doing his thing. He made an announcement a week ago Saturday and everything else. I'm absolutely proud of him. I can't even imagine being how close you guys are. What's your thoughts about hearing that Red Grant has put aside his comedy career and is trying to do something different? Basically, and move back to his hometown of Washington D.C. to absolutely run for mayor. I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
Um, I think that city you live in or whatever community that you represent, I think that if you could wish anything of your public officials, it would be just that they more closely understood the things that the common person is going through, what the everyday man and woman on the street is dealing with. And there seems to be a disconnect between the people that get into office and who it is they actually represent.
Mhm.
And one thing that Red Grant has never wavered on is his sincerity. And he is completely sincere about the people of DC, and he has been concerned his whole life about the betterment of the area. And so
Mhm.
I don't think that he has had to step away from stand up to do that. But I do think that he has had to already make some really significant sacrifices in order to even go down that path. But if we don't have true representatives of the people in office, then our communities are doomed to being fleeced as they are across this great country of ours and globally. We often see people in positions of power who have no experience whatsoever, just the experience of making a lot of money over here. So they were in the chicken business and became billionaires, but somehow they're qualified to go represent the people. They don't have any people. There is no billionaire community. It's about people who are familiar enough with the downtrodden to look out for their best interest. And I know that he can't be bought, and that is very, very attractive, those two qualities in any representative politically.
Well, Katt, thank you for taking out the time. If you guys are sitting at home, make sure you check out Katt Williams. He's going to be in The House Next Door, Meet the Blacks 2 in theaters June 11th. Katt, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah, take care.